perform useful diagnostic measures to identify the patients with CNS infections. Now, when we are talking about approach to a patient with meningitis, there are, whenever we talk about any syndrome, this forms the basis. We have to look into what is the onset of illness. So, whether it's acute, subacute, or a chronic illness, that's extremely important. And then we must identify whether it's meningitis or it's encephalitis. So, when we talk about meningitis, meningitis is inflammation of the meninges. And since it is inflammation of the meninges, the headache, vomiting actually predominate the clinical picture, and there may be associated fever. While in case of encephalitis, it is inflammation of the brain parenchyma with neurological dysfunction. So here the neurological dysfunction occurs much earlier. Now, in clinical practice, usually what we see is a meningoencephalitis. But it's very important for us clinicians to differentiate whether it is meningitis with meningoencephalitis or it's encephalitis with subsequently progression to involvement of the meninges, because the etiologies for both these are different. Meningitis will be most commonly caused by bacteria. There are other there are other etiologies as well, but for encephalitis it's most predominantly caused by viruses and then subsequently the other microorganisms. Now, there is, if a patient is presenting with fever with altered sensorium to us, it's very important to differentiate another entity, which is encephalopathy. What is encephalopathy? Encephalopathy is a systemic illness with altered sensorium. For example, any systemic illness, like it can be acute febrile illness with malaria, enteric, dengue, leptospirosis, or rickettsiosis. This may result in a systemic like there may be systemic dysfunction and then subsequently involving the it's an encephalopathy. So here it's not inflammation, but it's just dysfunction of the brain parenchyma. And sometimes even urinary tract infections, especially in elderly patients, will result in encephalopathy. So here also we need to keep in mind the various other non-infectious causes, like it can be a NMDR encephalitis, or at the same time, we also need to keep in mind, say, CNS lupus, where SLE patient may develop CNS symptoms. So, or autoimmune encephalitis. These are the other etiologies which we have to keep in mind while we are dealing with a patient who has got fever with altered sensorium. And of course, ADEM. So, so today we are actually going to discuss briefly regarding what the acute meningitis, chronic meningitis, and nosocomial meningitis. More focus on the acute and chronic meningitis. And we're going to discuss regarding the various etiologies which result in the acute and chronic and nosocomial meningitis. How do we diagnose? What are the various radiology as well as the imaging modalities which can help in the diagnosis? And what should be the empirical antibiotic therapy, considering the increasing antimicrobial resistance, and of course the neurodiagnostic assays which are useful in the diagnosis of this CNS syndrome. So let's take up the first one, which is acute meningitis. So here, this is a 79-year-old gentleman who had history of alcohol consumption. He presents it with headache, vomiting, fever of 102, very high fever of